Assalamu alaikum, sister. Thank you for writing to our live session. As I understand your situation, you're 26 years old and you found somebody to marry. You state that he's a very gentle man. However, you have a history of being in an abusive relationship prior to your engagement. And at this point, you just want to run away from everything and everybody. And it sounds like you're really scared. It sounds like, on one hand, you do want to marry him because he's a gentle person. However, you don't want to get married because possibly, you're not healed from your previous abusive relationship. That's kind of like the problem sometimes, right? When women or even men are in relationships that were abusive, um, they carry that trauma with them, right? They don't heal from it. They are constantly reminded of it. Sometimes, like, you might get nightmares, anxiety, depression, um, physical symptoms, and you might have a hard time connecting with other people, right? Those are kind of like the some of the signs of trauma. Um, and definitely trauma occurs after being in an abusive relationship. And it's really important, right, for women who've been in abusive relationships to get counseling and work on healing. That healing is the key to moving forward with life and being able to be in a relationship and feel safe, right? Because safety is and trust is a big part of a relationship and moving forward. And being in an abusive relationship in the past kind of crushes like one's trust and one's ability to feel safe. And so it's not surprising that now you don't want to get married all of a sudden and then you just want to distance yourself and just run away. Um, those are kind of like signs that, you're scared and you just want to avoid everything and just go back to, not having, to make a decision about getting married and not having to face the fears and your own internal hurt and trauma. Sister, I kindly suggest that you do find a counselor in your area and begin getting some help, right? Um, a lot of women who have been abused do go for counseling. It is very successful. It helps a lot. Some women join support groups from women who have been in situations of domestic violence. Some who are survivors of domestic violence and have healed. And in these support groups, it's really good because you learn from the women who have healed, what tools they used, how they healed, how they, got through it, how they learned to trust again, how they learned to feel safe again, and so forth. So listening to women discuss how they've, come from point A to point B is very encouraging. Plus, it gives you a skill set, to implement in your own life, right? Um, you also hear stories, in support groups of women who are currently going through things, and you may be able to offer some help and some insight and some advice. So I kindly suggest, sister, that you do find a counselor in your area, preferably one who has experience with domestic violence, and also, ask your counselor or look up online a reputable, solid, professional support group for women who are victims of domestic violence and or survivors of domestic violence. Now, it might not have occurred in the context of a marriage. I understand that. However, an abusive relationship is an abusive relationship. And whether you are married or not, the effects of abuse, are kind of the same. There's different levels, of course, to like decades of severe abuse. Some women, get scarred, lose limbs, become disabled. Um, some women, the abuse is mild, for lack of a better term, wherein, it's a slap, or it's, emotional, or otherwise non physically impairing, right? But the important thing is to realize is that yes, you were in an abusive relationship. No, you're not in one right now. Yes, you have an opportunity to marry somebody who you feel is a very gentle person and a good man, but now you're scared, and rightfully so. And it's okay to be scared, right? It's a natural response based on what you went through. So, sister, please, I would kindly suggest that instead of trying to run away or wanting to run away, make some phone calls, find a reputable counselor in your area, and start counseling before you make a decision. Right? Start healing, start learning about the effects and the aftermath of abuse, and become educated about it. I'm sure you are, but there's always more to learn. And while you're learning, your therapist will have a plan of action in place for your path to healing. And if you can do that, looking forward, towards a marriage, it'll make all the difference in the world. Once you start healing, sister, the fear will leave you, and the wanting to run will no longer be there. You'll be able to start to feel safe again. You'll be able to feel like, you trust your judgment. And, you'll just put a different spin on things once you start healing. But right now, it seems like this upcoming marriage has triggered, the trauma. And again, like I said, that's normal. But inshallah, sister, I do pray that you do deal with it. You don't have to live with this for your whole life. There's ways, to heal, and I truly hope that you do engage with counseling and start to address, the issues that this person imposed upon you by being abusive. Because you deserve to live a happy, safe, comfortable, and loving life with a partner, a marriage partner. We wish you the best.